What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip and welcome back to another video. So this time we are going to review the HGUC Gundam F91. So yes, we're back with another Gunpla review. And I want to say, like, the F91 is one of those mobile suits that I really have wanted a unit of for a very long time. And I also have to say that the F91, for the record, is actually my favorite unit within the Universal Century timeline. And now that I finally have it, so let's review this bad boy right here. So first off, when I got this thing, I was actually considering like other mobile suits at that time. However, seeing that this was only 1,320 yen, this was probably the cheapest HG model that was available from the local hobby shop where I got this from. But again, now that I have it, it's worth it for the price alone, and I will tell you why as we, look at this model in review. So anyways, let's get started. So this is, of course, the box. Like, size-wise, this is no different from the Wing Gundam Zero that I've reviewed basically like 2-3 weeks ago at this point. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks since I last bought a Gunpla, but, I wanted to build another one, so I got this bad boy right here. So again, 1,320 yen. Considering that this came out in 2013, but considering that it now has the Bandai Namco logo, so this is a re-release, I would say, yeah. And quite recent, I would say so. But anyways, let's get on with the actual model, which I've already built a couple days ago. So, considering that this came out, and hopefully by the time I'm recording this video, it's still supposedly March 16th, at least in the West. So why is this date important? Because apparently, the original F91 movie came out exactly 34 years ago. March 16th, 1991, which probably explains the 91 on the Gundam's name. So, yeah, that would explain a lot. But again, the F91 is something that I've really wanted to have for a long time. In fact, I would say like this could go back to when I was 8 years old. Now, this was actually before Gundam Wing started to air. I did mention in my Wing Zero review that Wing Gundam aired in the Philippines in 1998, but before that, I've already had a Gunpla before, which is actually an SD Zeta Gundam. And one of the Gundams that was featured on the lineup was the F91, and that name really stuck with me for a very long time, which, again, was one of the reasons why I really wanted to get this when I had the chance. But again, now that we have it, I'm really enjoying it, actually. So this is how it looks like out of the box. So really straight build, nothing much. Again, like maybe some cleaning of the knobs here and there. No panel lines. I can't be bothered to do that. But as you can see here, this guy is really small. Now, of course, there is an in-universe explanation to this, because considering that F91 happened after Char's counterattack, and during that time, mobile suits were huge to, accommodate the larger energy reactors that they had, of course, meaning they are more powerful as well. But at the time of F91, so researchers, mobile suit manufacturers at that time, so they began developing like smaller reactors. So they made the reactors smaller, more compact, while at the same time still able to provide an output that can basically match those of the units or mobile suits that came before, like again the new Gundam, and maybe even other mobile suits like the Double Zeta Gundam, because during that time, boy, were they really into like big bulky mobile suits with high energy outputs. So again, because of like smaller compact reactors, so they were also able to reduce the size of the mobile suits, while again uh, being able to perform with such high capacity, high output, high power, again comparable to those that came before this guy. And considering that this guy is also made of a Gundarium ceramic composite material, so it was meant to be lighter and therefore more agile than its predecessors. So yeah, and for size comparison, again, saying that this is small, so I have here other uh, units that I've built recently. So this is the Immortal Justice, and I even have this like standing in like dynamic position, so like dynamic open legs or dynamic stance. So you can see that this guy is significantly taller, and because of the seed action system, I actually did slide down the legs from the pelvic joint for extra like mobility and articulation on the legs. But because of that, this is also like, like slightly taller than it's supposed to be. But yeah, this guy is small. And even compared to the Wing Gundam Zero that I reviewed recently, and the mobile suits in the Gundam Wing franchise are considered to be on the shorter side of the spectrum. Look at that. This guy is still obviously shorter than the Wing Zero. Maybe slightly so, but again, like maybe on record, the F91 is basically the smallest, the shortest mobile suit out there. So let's move on to the articulation. Well, we have the head, so it's on the ball joint. It can basically turn around 360, but I'm not really gonna do that. Like arms and legs, again, because it's not as armored or not as ornate, so you can do a lot of poses with this guy. But I guess I'm not gonna do a lot of those posings. But you can get the picture. However, things I really like about the F91 so would be the backpack. So one of the defining features of the F91 would be the variable speed beam rifles, which are these bad boys over here. And I really love how they were able to put in the proper mechanics for this weaponry right here for such a small unit. So thanks to the arms that they are attached to, so I can basically like slide them to the front, and they also have like a sliding function that I am going to show. There we go. And that is actually quite tight. Like I didn't just slide that willy-nilly. Like I actually had to put in some effort, which I think is really good. So it is a tight fit. It's not gonna come loose anytime soon. So you slide this open, and there is actually like a handle that you can just like flip down like so, right? And that's how it looks like. And maybe I'll do the same thing for the other one. So let's slide this guy open. Okay. Again, this is actually like tough to slide on the first try. But on the other hand, like it is now I just flip this open. Okay. There we go. Yeah. There we go. So I was able to, like, so now I have both the VSBRs in their, yes, prime position. Now, other things that I like, as you can see here, I have attached the energy shield or the beam shield, and again, this bright green plastic really complements or like really pops out, giving, you know, like a more dynamic feel and image to this guy right here. So another thing that I like is with the hands, and as you can see, this is equipped with its standard beam rifle, and I cannot pull out that beam rifle. So to attach the beam rifle, you actually have to sandwich it between the hand parts, and it's not gonna come loose. So again, I do like this one. I mean, with other mobile suits, like you can just like, you know, slide the beam rifles into the hands, and like a good example of that would be this guy right here. So like I do with the Wing Gundam Zeros, I just, you know, take it out like so, slide it in, you know, that kind of stuff normally. But even though there's nothing that really, how do you say it, like has the beam rifle in place, like there's no handguard, like compared to the Immortal Justice. So of course, because there is like a handguard right here, so you do have to sandwich this in between the hands. This one has nothing, but again, because it has like a wider grip, it does like fit snugly in the hands. But that really shows how sturdy it is. And again, I like sturdy things on my Gunpla. So very nice addition right here. So as for the other accessories, so I'm gonna take them out of the box. So by the way, these are the stickers. Now, looking at the manual, so there are actually some parts like the machine cannons, the Vulcans, like some parts on the crotch, and even like at the back you would see in the thrusters. So those are colored yellow and gray. So those are not color separated on the actual model kit. So if you want to paint them, then go ahead and do so. Again, myself, as for me, I'm not really gonna do that. But we have other accessories here. So we have here the beam launcher. So I would also say like the beam bazooka. So this is the actual handle, and this one is a special rack that you actually attach on the rear skirt. So by removing this part right here, you can attach the beam launcher like so, but I'm not gonna do that in this video. But yeah, it is basically like a beam bazooka if you ask me. So again, you can put the hands right here, mount it on the shoulder if you actually plan to equip it. I'm not. I'm just keeping the rear attachment, so just so I don't lose it. So we have actually like two trigger finger hands. So you have two separate hands. Again, very useful. Like the right hand definitely can hold the beam rifle and the beam launcher without problem. And because the finger is around the trigger, then you have another degree of like secure grip. Again, very nice. And because we have two of them, so you can attach them to the handles of the variable speed beam rifles, and again, that's really nice. So we have here this like little piece, so that attaches onto the arm, or the left arm rather. So if you if you can see that the beam shield is attached to this extended part right here. So remove all of this and then replace it with this one, so you do get the normal left arm. But I'm keeping the beam shield. And then there are small pieces right here. So we have two of these very small gray pieces that I have in my fingers. So those are actually the vents on the arms or on the shoulders. So you can pop these off, replace these ones with those smaller versions right here, and you have like a stored version basically. But for me, F91, so like these vents are out all the time. Again, that's just my preference, and that's how F91 always looked like to me. So the last thing that I never really bothered to use, but there is another attachment or a spare part, and that would be this face part right here. You probably can't see it, but I've decided never to use that. So for this guy, you can actually pop off the head, replace this normal face with the open face version. So in the movie, like the F91 can do that. But I'm not gonna do that because that's the least thing I want to do. Because I hate it, right? Of all the things that they wanted to do with the F91 when it's in high mobility mode, is that this face opens up. So I'm just gonna show you on the box, right, like right here. Okay, I hate that design. Like, why do you have to make that face look like, I don't know, Iron Mask? So Iron Mask is the villain of F91. It's hideous. I'm gonna be honest. It's hideous. So for me, I'm just gonna keep the normal face as is forever. So yeah. And last but not the least, so we have a couple of beam sabers right here. And now, on with the issues. So, I'm gonna start with the beam rifles beam sabers themselves. They do not hold properly in the hands. So as you can see, so I just stuck it in like so, and on the left hand because it has nothing. But watch what happens when I turn this thing upside down. It falls off. Like, if you want to use the beam sabers like this, so like put them in an upright position, but that doesn't really look good. You know, loosely on the hand. Look at this. Like, I do like the wider beam effect parts. Like, I have beam sabers from like the Wing Zero, and those, well, the plastic is nice. This has wider, fatter beam parts. What a waste. Like, let me see if this can fit in the... Well, it does fit in with the Wing Zero nicely. But, of course, these are the F91's beam sabers. And ironically, they don't fit into the hands of the guy that they're supposed to be attached to. So, if you are planning on getting something like the F91, or if you do want to get the F91, then I would say do something about this. Like, I don't know, like, I'm gonna try to wrap something around the handles so that they can fit better into the hands. Well, you know, something like a cheap fix, but, yeah. Right off the box, the grip isn't good. That's one of my major gripes with the F91. So let's store away the beam sabers. And let's talk about the stickers on the variable speed beam rifles. they did not stick very well, especially on the front. Like these right here, like they were okay. Like these, they tend to fold open. So, well, I try not to touch the adhesive on my stickers so that I don't damage the adhesive, so they would stick well. But even doing that, even if I'm being careful, they like to pop open. So what I did is that I actually glued them on. Yep, I used super glue to actually put the stickers in place, at least for like these areas. But the rest of those stickers, they're perfectly fine. So basically, my major issues, like, well, the replacement face parts, well, those are more of a personal choice. But again, the major issues that I have with this one, the beam sabers that are completely loose on the hand, and the stickers for the variable speed beam rifles. But everything else, again, I love the mechanics of the VSBR, like the legs, like on the back, like you can open them. So you open them from the bottom, they do open at the same time. So there you go. So like the vents on the legs open nicely. I'm showing the left leg. And then you can put them down. Again, the articulation, the how the beam shield looks like, very very nice. And basically, like 1,320 yen. Like me, like if it were 11 years ago and I bought this thing, this probably would have been less than 1,000 yen, you know, inflation and everything. But let's say even if it were released in 2013 at the same price point, the fact that, like, even if that time, like, 1,320 yen was, I would say, reasonable for this guy. But if that price never changed for the past 11 years, then I would say this was a steal, you know, for the price point, and again how everything feels like right off the box. I would say like this guy really really good. Yeah, I should clean up this nub right here, but anyways, yeah, that's just me. So I would say even with all the issues, but the issues that I've mentioned, you know, again, not so much. Like the missing paint or the missing colors on, you know, the thrusters on the back and like other parts. I'm not really particular about those, but again, for you guys who prefer painting, then you're free to do so. Uh, yeah, but again, like the issues that I've mentioned can be fixed. Like I just glued these stickers on so that they never peel off again. But overall, I am going to say, and I would say so, that this guy gets a 4.5 out of 5. Like, without those issues that I mentioned, this could have been like a 5 out of 5 high grade for me. But again, like price, articulation, accessories, like you really get a bang for your buck with this guy in general. Yeah. So again, if you're willing to put in just a little bit of effort in painting, again, I'm not gonna do so, but fixing those issues, yeah, definitely highly recommended. So anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.